Welcome to everybody, and thank you for joining this breakout session today to learn more about ClassLink. As we get started, I know from being in the network area earlier on, there are delegates here from all around the world and many different time zones. Some of you are prospective customers that are learning about ClassLink for the first time, and some of you may be new or existing clients wanting to learn more about ClassLink's growing offering and growth to share back at your establishment. Either way, I'm delighted and happy to spend this time with you. So wherever you are in the world, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome. Okay, so let's get started. ClassLink is the name of our company, and really simply, it's also the name of our solution too. We're headquartered in New Jersey in the United States of America, which for those who are not familiar is just next door to New York. So my name is Andrew Aitchison, and I'm your host for today's webinar. I'm the director of EMEA with ClassLink, and I'm responsible for the area, and I'm based in the UK. Today, I'm presenting from the beautiful Peak District, and the beautiful Peak District today is rainy and about 8 degrees, which is really good because we're also the source of Buxton spring water, if you are familiar with that, and also where the world famous Bakewell pudding or tart is from. So it just shows you that ClassLink is an international organization, and we've got members of staff all over the world, and we're here to support you whenever we need to. Okay, so ClassLink is an online platform that eases access to and management of a school's or a educational establishment's digital resources. ClassLink has been in the education technology industry solely for 23 years now. We don't branch out into any other areas. We're specifically education focused. Our growth over those 23 years has been phenomenal. And as you can see from the numbers on the screen, we are dealing with approximately 14.5 million unique users worldwide. We're working with about 1,850 school groups or educational bodies. We're working already in 22 countries on all 5 continents, and we support 14 languages. And if we are working in a language that you want us to add, then just ask us. We can add languages really quickly, and we're able to work with you to get that up and running. We've got formal partnerships with over 400 platforms, and we have single sign-on capabilities or connections with just under 7,000 applications, and that's growing on a daily basis. So people often ask me, what is ClassLink? And ClassLink, in essence, is a cloud-based platform, and as I've mentioned earlier, that eases access to and management of an institution or an educational establishment's digital resources. And those digital resources we'll come on to later. But our solution functions on every kind of device. We're completely device agnostic. We're operating system agnostic, so we work on anyone's smartphones, we work on tablets, we work on laptops, desktops, you name it, PC, Macs, we are able to work within that. And the beauty of that is that we're also able to work in any location as long as there is an internet connection. So you can see on this particular slide, we've got 4 components, rostering and provisioning and breaking into 2, that make up the individual categories and solution components. I'm going to start with this one in the top left-hand side to go into each one in just a little bit more detail. Okay, so single sign-on is our staff and student facing area. It's what we're best known for. It's our single sign-on solution, or SSO for short. And it's really just a tip of the iceberg of what ClassLink is able to offer. By providing single sign-on access to all of your digital resources and file storage area, we are able to not only save valuable learning time for teachers and students, but we're also able to provide a platform, as it says up there, for parents and obviously the school staff and administrators too. So once a user logs in, they simply click into ClassLink, and we can maybe, if we've got time at the end, maybe go into this in a bit more detail, but they click in and they click in once and they have access to all of their applications. And obviously their ClassLink login will give them access on any device, so they can log in at home on a laptop, they can log in at the educational establishment on one of your PCs, and all of their resources are there. And obviously they have access to all their applications, and there are a number of different ways in which they can log in, which we can tailor to meet your specific requirements. And if anyone wants to know anything more about that, we're happy to arrange a formal demonstration specific to meet your needs. In the center of the screen here, you can see a sample of what each user will see when they log in. This is what we call Launchpad, or the ClassLink Launchpad, and it's unique to every and each user. Each of the icons you see here are representing an online resource, which is accessible with a single click of your mouse. These icons, in addition to being educational applications, could also be used for staff and parental resources. And staff, it could be access to your HR systems, it could be access to your intranet. For parents, it could be accessing information about how students are doing or performing, or information that may be pertinent to those particular stakeholders. It's also important to note that most of our schools use Google or Microsoft, and we've established partnerships which integrate with each of these. For example, Google, Azure, and Active Directory, and once again, over 400 other platforms and almost 7,000 applications. In addition, single sign-on for your applications, ClassLink also has an application called My Files, or a tool called My Files. My Files provides a consolidated view of all your file storage locations, whether your files are on the school network or in the cloud, such as iCloud, Dropbox, OneDrive, Google, etc., etc. So with just one click from within the ClassLink Launchpad, a student or a user or a lecturer, for example, can access all of their files without having to search numerous places. Users can open, edit, and save files to their original location, or even drag and drop between the files, between those services, should they be required. So that's one aspect of what ClassLink is able to offer. The next one we're going to discuss was analytics. And analytics has become a huge part of any educational establishment's requirements these days. Because ClassLink strives to connect your school with 100% of its digital resources, we are then able to provide school leaders and the leadership teams with greater visibility into engagement, student engagement, what resource use is taking place in your particular establishment, and how those are being used and when. So whether your school or institution has students attending school in person, whether you're attending school or university in a hybrid situation, or whether you're 100% remote, as is still the case in many parts of the world today, ClassLink's analytics tool can tell you exactly how much time each student has been spending on each application and what applications they've been using. And I just want to repeat that. There's not many organizations that are able to give you that level of detail. So we're able to tell you exactly which digital resources a student has been studying or using, and for how long and when. This is extremely helpful in guiding establishments, teachers, and administrators in gaining the best student engagement results, and also to make any timely interventions where necessary, and to be able to understand the success and use of any application, new resource, and be able to present and demonstrate any particular return on investment, which again is key. And this information, as you can see on the screen there, is readily available at all time, in real time as we speak, and on demand, and can be scheduled too. So the fact that you can go on, if somebody asks you how we're doing with this new app, you can instantly log on to the app. You can log on to our analytics section, and you'll be able to say, I can tell you exactly how that's being used, who's using it, when it's being used, etc., etc. So the next screen we're going to come on to, and just to recap, we've already looked at single sign-on. We've very quickly looked at applications and files and how we're able to access those all from within the ClassLink platform. We've looked at analytics. The next area we're going to look at now is our technical area. And this is basically our rostering and provisioning tools. These tools assist IT and curriculum departments by automating the tedious manual process of account creation. And when we say account creation, we're talking about things like Google accounts, Azure accounts, Active Directory, Office 365. We're able to help with all that, which of course can save a great deal of time, not only at the beginning and end of each school year, but all year long as new students and staff start, semesters, terms change, or students and staff leave school. And we can come on to that shortly. So a typical class roster reality is that somebody puts all the information into the SIS or MIS system. Somebody, usually an IT professional, is having to take all that information, and they're having to then give that information out to the different vendors to be able to create accounts, etc. What we're able to do as part of ClassLink is create an effortless automated system, creating much more efficient organization and saving your organization time. In fact, some of the schools we work with have been able to demonstrate that we've saved them hundreds of hours that they've been able to either spend on other projects, making them more efficient, or simply saving them revenue, which they've been able to, especially at the moment with budgets as they are, been able to make those cost savings that are really necessary. So just going back a couple of slides, I just want to recap. ClassLink is able to provide you with a single sign-on application for all of your resources. We're able to provide you with analytics for every time somebody accesses a resource within ClassLink, and there's further developments that we can talk about individually on the analytics later on. And we're able to provide you with rostering, which is where we share your information subject to whatever you want it to be, and create those accounts automatically for you. So that's really what we're able to do. Another area that we find particularly useful, the higher and further education sides of what we're able to offer, is all about progressive engagement. Progressive engagement is really what we're all about in relation to being able to keep customers happy when it comes to, my slides have just gone wrong. Just apologize for this one, just a second. Just going through. So progressive engagement is basically where we're able to keep clients on board. We're able to make sure that we keep all the relevant information, and we're able to basically present a journey for a customer as we go through the process. So what that means is, if you've got customers who are wanting to stay with you or apply to go to your university, we're able to create a ClassLink account for them. And what that basically means is that we're able to put information for that particular student or that particular applicant at the very start, information about our school. We can also put information about apply now. And as that person goes through the journey, we're able to see, we can add further information to them. So we can put information relevant to the next part of the process should they go to the next stage. You're able to then add information on, so for example, if they say, yes, we'd like to come and have a look around, we can add further information around a campus map, campus events, you can schedule visits, etc. And then as that student starts to grow and become part of your organization and hopefully joining you, you can then add further information about things that they may wish to do. So this is all about delivering it from the very outset, creating that account, presenting that professional backdrop, which can be fully customized to your particular university or educational establishment's needs. And ultimately, as you can see, we can start to add more information. They've now decided to join local restaurants, campus strategy, transportation links, etc. And again, that particular area can be developed further. Lots of our universities look after their alumni, and this can carry on right the way through with ClassLink profiles. So again, you can have relevant information. And don't forget all of these information here. They may be links, they may be videos, there may be applications. It can be any resource you want to put in there that's digital. So I just want to stress that one. And as we go through to the final slides, realistically, I just want to talk a little bit, or ask you to think about at your particular university, some areas for discussion. Obviously, you know, we're at the exhibition stand if you want to pop over to have a chat with us, but we want you to think about how you access your resources and single sign-on and how that works in your university. Another area we want you to look at is the analytics. You know, what works for you at your school? What are your students working on, and how are you able to actively monitor that at the moment? What is your, you know, how do you create and manage your network accounts? That's a real key issue, and one we can certainly save you hundreds and hundreds of hours managing and helping you automate that process throughout the whole year. Another area we'd like you to think about is, what does remote access look like going forward for you in your particular local region, and how does that, how will that flow in relation to accessing files, folders, be that either cloud or be that networks, folders at the school, etc. And the final area that we spoke about is that parental and family engagement piece. How do you currently manage that? And are you able to offer them one access point for all of their information or resources? And the beauty of ClassLink is those educational resources that are out there in the world, you're able to cherry pick them all and bring them into one resource, one location, which a student or a parent or a teacher or an administrator can access anywhere, and be able to ultimately, access them very simply, very easily on any device, anywhere, anytime. And finally, I'd like to wrap up this brief glimpse into the world of ClassLink. I hope it's been helpful, showing you the ways in which ClassLink can make life easier for the relevant stakeholders, teachers, students, administrators, IT, curriculum staff and leadership, and also for the wider stakeholders as well. And if you'd like to meet up with one of our global team members, one of the easiest ways is to go to classlink.com/demo and fill out the simple form. If you do that now, we're able to respond to the demo request within the next 24 hours. Alternatively, if you want to pop over to our exhibition stand from within this platform, feel free. Myself and Madeline are there. And above all, stay safe and be well. And thank you ever so much for listening today.